Good day. This is my new metal lathe, which I got from my school because they didn't need it any longer and they wanted to put it in the trash. So I couldn't let that happen and I decided to bring it home. Came without a motor, so I had to kindly ask my neighbor, who industrially repairs these things, and he had one sitting around on his shelf which he didn't need any longer, so I decided to get this one. It's 1.5 horse motor, and yeah, it pulls the machine just fine. Now, of course, because it didn't come with a motor, it didn't come with a belt either, so I had to order one on the internet, and this is just some silicone plastic type of thing. They come in long bands, and you can just cut off your length you desire and melt them together with a hot knife or anything, and yeah, it does the job just fine. Now, as you can see, I'll move the camera a little bit. Now, as you can see on this, the tension is quite few. On this one it's okay. However, I left the tension low so that I have a little bit of an emergency brake, because I do not want to get in the accidents happening with the 1.5 horse motor, and this just allows for a little bit of slip, so I can still easily stop this machine by hand in case of emergency. The speeds are changed on this and this pulley, so you move this belt from here to here to here. The slowest setting is around 1000 RPM. The middle setting is 400 RPM, and the slowest setting is 250. Now, for smaller diameter stock, this is the ideal speed. For larger diameter stock, I use this one. And yeah, the smallest setting, or the fastest setting, is for wood turning, for example, if I decided to do that. As you may have probably noticed, the jaws are not the right set that you would ordinarily use on a kind of job like I have chucked it up here. They are the outside gripping jaws. However, there weren't any different ones available at the time, so the lathe just came with these. I have yet to find another set of them, but it looks quite promising that these jaws are standard size, so probably I'll get some inside gripping jaws for them as well. I say it's probably a standard because nothing on this machine is a standard. I guess on this machine being probably 50 to 60 years old, the chuck is from a company named Arova. They haven't been making chucks for about 20 to 30 years, and the entire design on this lathe is very, very old. You still have this type of clamping tool holder where you can set the center height by tilting the tool up and down, and the bed is actually round. It's not a flat bed, but it's a so-called round bed lathe. And not only this makes me conclude that this is a watchmaker's lathe, but also the spindle, which is actually right-hand thread instead of left-hand thread. So as you can see, if you turn it counterclockwise, this reverses it, or here you go, clockwise is feeding it out and counterclockwise is feeding it in. Yeah, it doesn't have any auto feed, which would be quite hard to accomplish with a round bed, I think. You only have a handle in the middle which tightens the carriage on the round bar. The entire thing is very well made. There's almost no play in the spindle, and it's very, very rugged. So yeah, it's one of these things that are made forever. and it works quite well, as you will see soon. Alright, last thing before we actually get to turning. This motor is usually made for 380 volts. I have hooked it up with a capacitor, 80 microfarads, so that it will now run on 220 volts alternating current. The only problem is, or I say problem, a little bit of an issue is that it takes a little bit of time until the motor actually kicks into the 3000 RPM, because the capacitor has to get itself into the rhythm. So when I start it up, it goes slowly and then kicks in. Now the motor is warm at the moment, so that went quite quickly, but as long as the motor is cold, this phase is quite long. So quite long means in this case about 1 to 2 seconds, so that's still no dramatic effect that I have to wait for ages. And yeah, it pulls the lathe quite nicely. However, I can still stop it by hand, so that's my security on there, and this way I feel comfortable with it. Okay, let's get to some turning. Alright, one other thing. I made the chuck key myself. It also didn't come with a chuck key, so what I had to do was take some round stock and file the edges off so that it is square. I don't own a mill, so that's why I had to do it with a file, and that did just well. Drill a hole here, ram my pin through there, and just for kicks I soldered it tight, so it will hold. And yeah, it works more than sufficiently. Now this takes a little bit of time to set this up right, so nothing is getting into its way. A little bit of oil onto the center. It's a dead center. And snap that up. Move that in. Fully tighten it down. And yeah, that's ready for turning now. Little bit of lubrication. High-speed steel tends to quickly heat up. Plus I also like the smell and the smoke of it. No problem at all. I had a little bit of concerns because of the tiny bar that serves as a guide for these, that this would get to vibrations, but actually that is no problem. I think we can do a little deeper cut. You see, it's no problem. Alright, so there we go. The lathe pulls the chip just fine. It's easy on roughing cuts and so on, and it left a very nice finish either. Alright, I'm moving it in 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths of a millimeter. So that's half a millimeter depth of cut right now. Again, no problem. Okay, here's the finishing cut to make this one round surface again. Sorry for the shaking camera, it's just the vibrations on the board. I try to lift the tripod up a little bit. Still have to get used to the reverse threads. Alright, that's my metal lathe. Thanks a lot for watching.